Immerse in the profound wisdom of the Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, ancient verses, revered as a pinnacle of devotion and spiritual awareness. Under the guidance of His Holiness Swami Jyotirmayananda, plunge into the infinite ocean of this revered scripture. Discover its hidden truths. Embrace its transformative power. Awaken to new realms of divine love and spiritual awareness. The depths are calling. The deeper you dive, the more treasures you'll discover. And now, Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. And blessed self in all of you, adoration. In Shandilya Bhakti Sutras, two views relating to practice of bhakti were presented. The first was that mind should become involved in glory of God. The second one was that the mind should become involved in gaining insight into the soul, the jiva, jivatman, the soul within you. Atmarati, develop the delight of discovering the soul. Shandilya puts them both together. He takes one with one hand, one with the other hand. Mind should be involved in the glory of God, and God's ray that is operating within you, the glory of that also. Blend both. That is an integral movement. First, focusing your mind on God. The entire universe is created by God. Just to turn your attention to the basic points. We speak of Brahman, the absolute self. That Brahman is beyond the normal concepts of God, soul. All concepts are transcended. He is the absolute. That Brahman, through Prakriti. Now, Prakriti is another understanding. Prakriti is a blend of three modes of nature: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. This Prakriti is Brahman's energy. Brahman is like a big magician. Prakriti is his magical power. When you look at a magician, you see him only one. You don't see his magical power sitting near him. Only when he has created some magical spell, that those who are under spell, they moved away from practical reality, they moved away from what is truth. For them, there become two reality. There is Brahman and his magical power. One who is enlightened, from his point of view, there is nothing but Brahman, the absolute self. So that point has to be clear. God and Brahman and his magical power is one and the same. Now, coming back to that insight, to gain insight into the world of practical reality, Prakriti has three aspects. Sattva predominating Prakriti. Sattva predominating Prakriti becomes the medium through which Brahman expresses himself as God, Ishvara, the ruler, God who is worshipped with devotion, God who grants your wishes, God who showers grace. That God is Ishvara, and He is related to the universe, and all the entire world and all things in the world are created by Him. That's what we mean by turning your mind to the glory of God. You don't have to look far and wide for discovering the glory of God. It all depends upon the advancement of your feeling, of your intellect. If you are not highly advanced, then you ask people, where is God? According to your religious upbringing, you are told, go to Mecca, go to Israel, go to some special sacred place, Kashi, Banaras, Vrindavan, and there you will have touch of God. That's the ritualistic aspect, but that's a beginner. Whenever you have the plan for becoming educated, you have to start with kindergarten. We never look down upon kindergarten. It's a wonderful thing. But when you advance, the story changes. God is as much within you as He is everywhere. God's glory can be perceived in the smallest of things, a little flower blossom. If your mind is highly sensitive, you can get into ecstasy. Jesus sees a lotus. Behold the lilies of the field. It becomes a great inspiring statement. In other words, and that plan has been given in the Gita. The Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that I am the sun among the luminaries. I am the ocean among rivers. I am this, I am that. Turning your mind to great expressions. To give you a simpler way of saying, you are entering into a great temple. You open the door, you enter into the hall, and wherever you turn, something is written. Or some picture is given, or some angel, or some deity. So my attention goes first towards the things that are very broad and written in big letters. Similarly, you have come into the world, which is a vast temple. First, your attention is drawn to the biggest of things, the sun, the moon, the stars, ocean, mountains. And if you turn your attention to history, all great sages, great personalities. But as you further advance, then your mind turns to even abstract things. Among the mental processes, I am the intellect. Among various types of sadhana discipline, I am japa, repeating the mantra. You go into subtler aspect of God's presence. If you have highly advanced, then the entire world is filled with God. How much filled? Hindi word is lava-lab. Is brimful. To understand that again, you need to have this picture. You are looking at the lake, seeing so many things reflected. Now, if your mind has become too focused on things that are reflected, those things seem to stand out as if they are different from the lake. Now, you can use a language which says that all the things that you see are interpenetrated by the lake. They are filled with the lake. They are laba-lab bhara hua hai. They are up to the brim. Put your attention in another way. When you experience dream, so many things are happening. But the entire dream world, with all the things that are there, all the time the dream world is filled with your own consciousness. How much? Lavalab. It interpenetrates all. There is nothing but your own consciousness. If mind were to advance to high level, that advancement is a blend of vichar and bhavana. Bhavana is normally described as a matter of heart, good feeling, generosity, broad feeling, a heart that gives rise to the will. May all be happy, sarve bhavantu sukhina, and doesn't separate from all. Doesn't, because nothing in the world can be separated. The entirety of all is the reality behind every object that you see, behind every object of your dream, whether it is just an apple in your dream world, or a butterfly, or a big elephant. Many people don't have dream of elephant. No matter whatever is the object of your dream, it is superimposed on your consciousness. Your consciousness enfolds it, assimilates it, transcends it. Think of God in the same way. Therefore, any imagery that you bring into your mind about distance, how distant He is He hearing my prayer? How can I approach Him? All those questions are because mind has not come to the grip of understanding. So, God is the entire universe. Now, to give you more understanding of the term Ishwar. First, as I started telling you, that Brahman, through sattva predominating Prakriti, adopts the role of Ishwara, God, who has three aspects. The creator. As creator, he, according to using the Hindu literature, he is known as Brahma. As preserver, he is known as Vishnu. As destroyer, he is known as Rudra, Shiva. These three are not three different beings, three aspects. And to lead you further, the Sanskrit word for God is Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who is endowed with bhagas. Bhagas are great divine attributes. 6 of them are most highlighted. They are the basic bhagas, and Bhagavan is one who is endowed with them. What are those 6? Firstly, Aishwarya, glory, glory that is of the majesty, immensity, the dazzling presence, that's called Aishwarya. He who can create the entire universe with a twinkling of an eye, and can destroy it. You may think it's very mind-boggling. But think of your dream, how you created with a twinkling of an eye. And one little twinkle, the whole dream moves away. That shows you the magic of consciousness. You are endowed with it. You are sustained by it. And you are experiencing its magic day by day. And your mind is being led to understand that more and more. So Aishwarya, glory. The next is called Dharma, righteousness. In God's activities, there is not an iota of unrighteousness. Every soul is being led along the rules of dharma. No one will be given any painful experience simply because some clerk in the divine world made a mistake. The karmas that should have gone to this person, just by mistake, they went to another person. There is not an iota of mistake. That point is important to understand and to develop faith. Because if you accept the idea that God is omnipotent, then you must realize His capacity is immense. There is no limit to it. And He is omniscient, all-knowing. And all-knowing will not permit a little flea within it. So, dharma, whoever is treading the path of dharma, the path of ethical value, path of righteousness, he automatically receives a greater favor from the divine within. Whole personality begins to relax. You begin to discover an inner power that goes beyond the limits of your body. An aroma oozes out of you that is recognized by many. Path of goodness, no matter how little it is, it sparks up a flame of beauty, no matter where you are, in a small family, in a bigger social involvement. It is dharma that gives you quality. And that dharma, God has infinite dharma. The third bhaga is Shri. Shri is Lakshmi, which means wealth. Wealth means prosperity, that which enriches you. Material wealth is only one little aspect, a transient aspect, because countless people in the world are very rich, but if you study them, listen to them, what they say, you realize how internally they are very poor. All the wealth has not given them real inner satisfaction or peace. However, if the wealth is attained by you by adopting dharma in a righteous way, that wealth has a different story. It is something that is divine. But here I am just telling you that God is the embodiment of dharma, absolute, infinite righteousness. Never dream of Him doing anything that is really cruel, undivine, undignified. And since you are a ray of God, all this has to develop in you. And by His grace, you can go on promoting it more and more. The next bhaga is jnana. Now, about Shri as what I give, the prosperity, the rich man. Bhagavad Gita gives you Daivi Sampat, all the divine qualities, the quality of compassion, the quality of forbearance, forgiveness, quality of understanding, non-violence, all great qualities that and all over the world people admire. Humility. All great qualities are divine qualities, Daivi Sampat. And that's what is the blessings of Goddess Lakshmi. Again, it's a figurative language. That is real wealth. and God is wealthiest. Since the beginningless time. Dhyana, next point, wisdom. In God, there's infinite wisdom. Therefore, he is called omniscient, all-knowing. And sixth bhaga is called vairagya, detachment, dispassion. He has infinite detachment. He is like the sky. The sky is forever detached from clouds, but forever loving for clouds, gives support to clouds. Not a single cloud moves unless the sky has enfolded it, loving. That type of detachment that is expressed in the words of Lord Jesus. Speaking about himself, he says, foxes have holes, and goes on describing so many things in the world, so many souls have resting point. Talking about himself, he has no resting point. Nowhere to rest in the world of transience. If you don't understand, you may think, how miserable. The idea is, the world is not where you can really rest. It is a world that is based on a conditioned mind. You can't rest in your dream. No matter how wonderful it is a dream, and someone gives you, oh, stay with your dream. That will be considered a big curse. Similarly, the idea you can stay on and on in the world, that will be a big curse. Perpetuating the same body with the same setup of people, stay on. Every day coffee, every day. Go on enjoying the technical advancement. A lot of fun. A mind that considers that the ideal or goal, that mind is very sick. Another aspect of God. God is the source of the entire universe. Is Utpatti. All living beings, all that is in the universe emanates from him. He is Pralaya. All things, when they dissolve and are destroyed, they enter in him. All this is a description of consciousness, just like the dream world arises from you. So where does your dream emanate from or is born from? Your own consciousness. Here we are talking about absolute consciousness, God consciousness. For God consciousness, the entire universe is a dream. An entire dream world arises from his consciousness and dissolves in his consciousness. God is the giver of gati and agati. Gati means a right direction leading you to liberation, or leading you to gradual ascent, progress. Agati, stopping you from progressing. Why does he do that? Because you are not prepared. You are trying to advance. It's just like you have taken your car and rushed to the plane, but you have left your tickets behind. The old style. So what? God being gracious creates a trouble. You can't go. So come back for some reason and realize, oh, you have not picked up your ticket. Then we realized it was a wonderful thing that something stopped you from going. Now, I'm giving you just one simple, little sample. The idea of obstacles that come in your life, they are not meant to torment souls. Whenever you handle people in their different levels, a sick person, for example, and a doctor handles the sick person. Sometimes when you're given a pill to the sick man, it seems like a big trouble. And yet it's all done under a big umbrella of compassion. So God is the source of Utpatti, source of the entire. He is, into Him the entire world dissolves. He guides the movement of souls, led by their karmas, leading them to evolve and ultimately attain liberation, or stops the person from moving forward so that the soul may become more integrated for a good reason. He is the giver of vidya, knowledge. He is the giver of avidya. He withdraws your knowledge. If you are misusing your intellect, if He allowed you to misuse your intellect, you will go back into animal world as a result of your negative karma. God's compassion, He interrupts. For example, you have made a plan to do something negative, unrighteous, but somehow your hand itself begins to paralyze. You can't do it. If that happened, it is God's grace. I'm giving very simple illustration. Life is filled with many complex processes. There are times and a student has learnt hard and comes into the examination and suddenly his mind has blocked out. Why? The fact is that the art of study is not just to prepare all your lessons overnight at the time of examination. The art of study is to study day by day and in a profound way. If that is so, God will give you memory even if you didn't have that. The question is given to you and you have not read it, but if there is perfect clarity, you will catch it. God is the giver of intelligence, and He takes away the intelligence. Relationship with God, there are three important aspects that I've related to you before, but once Rama asked Hanuman, "How am I related to you?" Hanuman is a great example of a devotee. He said, Deha buddhya tu dasoham. To the extent I view myself as body-mind complex. That's what the majority. You are body-mind. To that extent, always consider yourself, you are a slave. Slave not in relation like the slave tradition of old times. Slave means something very profound. You are an instrument in divine hands. You are a flute, and God is the flute player. And that should be your focus. All things that you handle, first keep your flute healthy. Turn your attention to keeping the body healthy. Turn your attention to deeper levels of your health, your pranas. Turn your attention to the chakras and the insight into how Kundalini can be awakened and can be led to operate from higher centers. There are variations of things. You don't have to exactly do that. But you must understand it encompasses all types of sadhana, different type of disciplines. Never develop the idea, since I have understood God and Brahman, why should I do these little things? Why should I do sadhana, sit down and repeat a mantra? The whole world is I've understood as Maya. And I am Brahman. Why should I do so many little chores? People don't know it. They give me lots of little chores. But I am Brahman. That idea should not enter. Because if that is entering, you are far, far from spirituality. Every point, every small detail in your life must come within that awful umbrella of divine movement. Awesome, huh? I say. Wonderful. Now, leading you on to that relation with God. The first stage, you are a slave. God is the master. Next stage, Jiva-vidya-tvadanshata. To the extent you view yourself as an individual soul, that's because you are operating through the mind. When you look into a bucket of water, sun is reflected in it. The reflected sun in a bucket of water is a ray of the sun. Figurative way of saying. In reality, it's nothing but the sun. But however little is the revelation of God within you, the very soul within you that you are constantly working with is a ray of God, having boundless capacity and potentiality. That relation has to develop when you are doing japa, meditation, devotion. Integral yoga is based on that aspect. You are a ray, and God is the sun. But when you were to come to the highest level, there is no difference. Individuality is illusion, a snake on the rope. Brahman alone is real. If you are enlightened and living in this world, you use all the three attitudes, all the three aspects in your day-to-day life. To the extent your body, you are constantly serving God, worshipping God, doing all the duties needed for you, but in a divine way. To the extent you are mind, you are allowing the mind to be filled with glory of God, allowing it to blossom, not choked. And for the ultimate level within you, don't have to worry. In the Gita, there is a statement of Krishna. It gives you more in that direction. Gatir bharta prabhu shakshi nivasah sharanam surit prabhava pralayasthanam nidhanam bijam abhyayam. Gatir, I am the goal. Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, describing the glory of, whenever Krishna uses the term I, it refers to God. I am the gati, I am the goal. The bharta, I am the sustainer. Bharta is a very popular term. One who sustains you with tremendous love. He is Prabhu, the Lord and Master. He is Sakshi. He is constantly a witness. Many things you want to do and you go ahead and do it. God goes on, looks on. If he goes on interrupting everything that you do, life will be miserable. But nothing he has missed. He has kept his observation. When you have done something positive, he gives you a little inspiration. Even like a mother touches the child has done something good. So, next point, Nivasi. He is the abode, the ultimate goal. Sharanam. Whenever you can't find refuge in the world, can't find rest, can't find a source of sustenance, then God is the refuge. And that refuge is everywhere, no matter where you are. Because God is the innermost self within you, the indwelling God. The simple illustration, no matter where you are, you go to sleep. When you go to sleep, who takes care of all your worries and anxieties? Even when you are in deep sleep, divine work goes on. Blood circulation goes on, the heart goes on beating, and countless arteries and veins and all those go on functioning. The immensity of work that goes on is mind-boggling. And you are better off when you have spirit of surrender. Do the best you can, but always surrender should be your easy chair to sit on. Suhrit, another aspect of God, he is the best friend. Friend who is profound. No matter what you do, he cannot turn himself away from you. This was dramatized by that Akbar Birbal story. And Akbar developed the idea, people gave him the idea that you should be installed in temples because you are the God. And Birbal said, who tells you that you are God? And Akbar was upset. But the Birbal said, you are greater than God. Those who say you are God, they are diminishing your capacity. Akbar was ambitious, but not that ambitious. The person, how do you say that? I'm greater than God. Birbal said, if someone commits a crime in your kingdom, you can drive him out of your kingdom. But if anyone commits a crime in God's kingdom, God can't drive him away because there is no place anywhere else. His omnipotence stops. He can't drive anyone out of his domain. So, therefore, God is your profoundest companion, inseparable. Prabhava pralaya sthanam, he is the creator, sustainer, destroyer. He is the imperishable source of all that goes on happening in the world. And with this we conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of spiritual growth. It's an honor to learn from the wisdom of Swami Jyotirmayananda. As we part for now, remember, the quest does not end. Take time to reflect on today's insights and integrate them into your life. Until next time, stay open, stay curious, stay present. The light within you is always shining.